And the first thing that I'm going to ask that you guys do, since we are live, is I'm going to ask that I'm streaming live from my personal page. And so if you can take your devices and share it, and I want you to tag as many women in the planet that you can tag. So I want you to share this. We are live.
Hold
And I'm
on.
streaming live from my turn down your volume. You can take your devices and here. And yeah, so we want to raise some awareness of some things today. And before we, just dive deep into what our core thing is, we want to lay a foundation. And so today we are going live having conversation with women. And we want to invite as many women to join us and stand with us in solidarity today in regard to some of the things that we're going to be lifting up. And so the whole, thing is centered around equal pay for equal work as it pertains to women. However, before we can even dive into a deep conversation about that, we need to lay some framing and background. Why are women saying they need equal pay and for equal work? And do women even do equal work? How much work do we do? So we want to talk about some stuff here. And I want to introduce everybody that is present. This is going to be a real tense, fast-paced, moving conversation from a generational lens with women of color. However, women, period. So this isn't, you don't have to just be a woman of color. This is about women fundamentally. So my name is Toni McNeil, and I'm here is Toni McNeil. I'm holding anti-Black conversation space. I'm also a community organizer. I'm a native of Stockton, California. I am a mother of 4 children. I was a single parent, raised them all by myself. I didn't have a village, but we did that thing with the help of God. And so, yeah, that is me. And Tama, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tama Brisbane. I'm Executive Director of With Our Words. I am the Stockton Poet Laureate. I'm County Coordinator for California Poets in the Schools. And I am the mother of 3 and grandmother of 6.
Awesome. Manaya, you want to introduce yourself?
I don't have a choice, but here we go. I'm just messing with you. Hi, my name is Manaya Joy. I am a member of the WOW Youth Poetry Collective. Actually, correct that. I'm a slam ambassador of the WOW Youth Poetry Collective, member of the We Flow Radio Project, and future host of the radio segment, Kay. Thanks. Bye. Oh, my pronouns are she, her, hers. Just to put that out there.
I love that. Let's see. Elizabeth, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Ng Mayberry. I am an activist, a mother, a Stockton resident for over 10 years, a mother in Stockton Unified. I am a woman who has had the privilege and the choice to stay home with my children for the last 10 years, who is actively choosing to look for work in the midst of a global pandemic and all of that.
That is a lot. Make sure that if you you have your device, make sure that you're turning the volume down so that we don't get the feedback from it. Latoya, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Latoya McNeil. I don't want to even introduce what I do or who I work with or anything like that. I am a mother. I am a Black woman. I'm professional. I'm a professional. And that's all.
Awesome. And Erica, I see you in the green room. I wanted to bring you in, but I want to make sure that you were ready to introduce yourself. So let me know when you're ready to tap in and introduce yourself, and I'll bring you in. In the meantime, so ladies, women, Before I even tell everyone why, we're here today, I want to lay some foundation. So we're talking about equal pay for equal work. We're talking about women in the workforce. We're talking about the things that we do and what make us valuable. So let's start there. I like that. Women, what makes us valuable? What makes us of merit and worth? And are we valued? Yeah, Tama, kick us off into, so are we valuable? What makes us valuable? What?
Our innate capacity to multitask at otherworldly levels, and to adapt our strengths and our capabilities as the situation calls for. Toya made a comment that is a writing prompt for me. Like, who do I have to be on stage today? Do I need to be the competent one today? Do I need to be the angry one today? Do I need to be the demure one today? Which outfit do I have to put on? As women, we have a metaphorical closet full of capabilities that we slip on as needed. That's what makes us worth it. That's what gives our efforts merit and context and impact and import.
What, anybody else? Elizabeth, what makes you valuable? What makes what you do? I know that you're just a stay-at-home mom. Let's start there with you.
Well, I think I've worked really hard to know myself. And I think that is a worker who knows themselves and is self-confident and courageous in confronting their own issues, as well as the issues in an institution or in a society, is an incredible asset.
So are you just a stay-at-home mom, Elizabeth?
No, I would go crazy if I was. I've had to, and part of it is knowing myself and knowing that I can't just sit by and watch things that I see being wrong in the world, without addressing them. So that's partially just my contribution, but also my way of taking care of myself is by acknowledging that I have a brain and a heart outside of, changing diapers or packing lunches or, managing the schedule.
And so that I want to dig a little bit deeper into that as well. So I'm being facetious, of course, when I say just a stay-at-home mom, because there doesn't seem to be any societal value or worth. You don't get paid to do that. However, if your children were taken out of your custody and put into the home of someone else, that person would be paid and valued to do what it is that you do. So in the course of a day, if you were to list your transferable skills, what would they be?
Well, so as I mentioned, I've been in the process of looking for work, and one of my greatest accomplishments in 2020 was just resurrecting my resume after 12 plus years out of the workforce, the paid workforce. And I actually put on my resume that I was, a household manager, because I'm like, you know what, like that is work. I've come to embrace that. So sorry, I now I lost track of what you were asking.
So as a household manager, what are those transferable skills? What do you do?
Managing chaos, prioritizing, focusing, details, seeing the details, paying attention to like the sort of logisticals as well as the emotional, being aware of my surroundings, looking out for the safety of my children and when we're out in public, managing their, what are they exposed to and how do we have conversations about what's happening, keeping them fed, keeping them relatively clean, teaching them values that will hopefully carry on with them once they're out of my, care. Yeah. I feel like there's like everyone says, oh, being a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home parent that's the hardest job. That's the hardest job. And everyone, they give it a lot of lip credit, but like in the reality is like a lot of people don't want to do it, or they would be horrified if they were forced into a situation where they had to do it. And that's one of the arguments I think for a universal basic income is that it lends it acknowledges the work and the labor and the value in that sort of unpaid labor that a lot of women end up doing.
Mm-hmm. So you guys, I'm gonna shift us, but before I do, because I want to read a statement that just dropped, and I shared it on my page, and I'm going to have you all share it as well. You can pull it up if you go to my Facebook page, because I'm standing in solidarity with my sister, my beloved sister, Camille Zapata. Love her so much. The girl is a boss. When I say a boss, I mean she is a beast when it comes to organizing. She's 25 years old. She has ran campaigns. She was a campaign manager for Member Susan Eggman, who is now the senator under her management. This girl has done some phenomenal work in the community, and she's led a significant amount of things. And so I just shared something that she was sharing, that she has shared, and that we want to make sure that we stand in solidarity and support. I want you to, Erica, introduce yourself really quick, and then I'm going to read this statement. So if you guys can pull it up, I'm going to read it, and then we're gonna talk about how that makes us feel. So first, Erica, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Erica Dorsey, and I am a mother, and I'm a previous stay-at-home mom, and very proud of that. So I just want to make sure I say that it is a job, and it is a powerful one and an important one, and I think one that's definitely undervalued. And so I've recently come back to work after many years of being at home, but I really appreciated that time. So I am the co-founder of Flourishing Families, Inc., and along with my co-founder, we are working to address the Black maternal health and Black maternal mortality and infant mortality epidemic, I will say. So that's just really my area and concern, but I'm very happy to be here, and I love Miss Tony, so grateful. Let's get into this. Thank you.
All right. So remember, turn your volume down. And did you guys get the post that I just shared on my Facebook page? Erica, and let me go ahead and I'll share it with you, Erica, in your messenger as well. There you go. All righty then. So I'm going to read this. I want to read this openly. First I want to say, Camille, thank you, Toya, for sharing that. And as we read it, we shared it in the chat. And so you guys click that link in order for all of you guys to read this along with us today. I'm asking that every woman, every person that is watching and tuned in right now, I'm asking that you share the link that Latoya just dropped in the chat. And I'm asking that you share this live on your Facebook pages right now. I'm asking that you tag in as many people as you possibly can in order to make sure that this thing has a thunderclap across social media. We want to raise as much awareness as we can. So, y'all ready? My name is Camille Zapata, and I am a 25-year-old Latina woman from Stockton, California. This week, I had hoped to announce that effective February 1st, 2021, I would be serving as Chief of Staff for Kathy Miller, San Joaquin County Supervisor for District 2, as the only woman of color to serve as the Chief of Staff role for the county. Unfortunately, 3 male supervisors decided to challenge Supervisor Miller's hiring decision and raise questions over whether I should be equally compensated to every other chief of staff on the board. This resulted in a 3-2 vote to delay my employment. As a Woman X, we recognize that the gender pay and wage gap is an injustice that persists today through secrecy and disproportionately impacts the most vulnerable. I feel it is important to stand up in this moment and call out the injustice that I am facing as I pursue a new role. Women X, intellects, labor, and contributions to our society are often devalued, overlooked, co-opted, and or erased. That's to say, what I'm about to share is not just about me. It's about every woman X that bears the brunt of inequity, misogyny, and the disrespect of having your judgment questioned in the workplace. 2 weeks ago, Supervisor Tom Patty, along with Supervisor Robert Rickman and Miguel Villaputa, took the extraordinary step of challenging another supervisor's hiring decision and the county HR department in a public meeting on January 26. Supervisor Patty specifically took issue with me entering my new role as at the same pay grade as all other chiefs of staff. He argued that this was a fight for fairness, that I should come in at a lower pay grade and work my way up over time. To be clear, this is not normal. The Board of Supervisors reviews and approves on average 40 hires at the top pay grade of their classifications each year. But my appointment was the one that was targeted. Supervisor Miller and the HR director shared that hiring people at a higher pay grade is a common practice for hard to recruit positions. She highlighted in January's meeting that she had verified the difficult recruitment by Supervisor Miller and approved the proposed compensation. This position is unique because it is a short-term contract, and therefore I would not have the same opportunity for advancement as other chief of staff. The bottom line is I would be expected to do the same level of work, but for less pay. Even after both Supervisor Miller and the HR director validated my qualifications for this role and the hiring process, Patty continued to question my worthiness and their experience. This is yet another example of how Women X judgments is continuously up for public debate, even when Women X are in a position of power. This is about equal pay for equal work. I took this position with an open heart and mind, seeking to ensure the board is responsive to community needs, especially in unprecedented times that have left our Black and Brown communities bearing the brunt of the COVID-19 pandemic. I have been feeling a mix of emotions about this, but the thought that has grounded me most has been, what if this was happening to a woman I know? My colleague, my friend, my cousin, my aunt. How would I react if this was happening to her? The problem is this story is not unique. This is one example of many where men in positions of power are systems justify or explain away Women X making less than their colleagues. The truth is today, Latinx women make 53 cents for every dollar a white man makes. Black women, 61 cents. Asian women, 85 cents. Indigenous women, 58 cents. And white women, 77 cents. It is extremely difficult, particularly for women of color, to advocate for themselves and navigate this system. Pay is the first way that patriarchal systems devalue and degrade Women X intellectual labor and contributions to offer meaningful support to their communities. And pay inequity goes hand in hand with the compounding battles women face every day to just have their work recognized and valued. I want to draw attention to equal pay for equal work movement that is happening on a national scale. This is not an isolated incident, but a glimpse into the everyday struggle women face that women face, and is a part of a larger movement to bring gender equity and equality to the workplace. I want women to know that they are not alone. I'm gonna say it again. I want women to know that they are not alone. Man, in this issue that they are facing, an injustice like this isn't something we should normalize or deal with in isolation. When women do deal with it in isolation, it's traumatic. It impacts our mental and physical health. I want to pause because she's given us a lot. She's given us a lot. I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause right there. What are your thoughts? What are you hearing? What are you feeling when you're hearing this statement that's being made? Because this ain't in our backyard. This ain't secret. This is in our front yard. Stockton, California, San Joaquin County Board of Supervisors. 3 male supervisors have challenged the decision-making of a woman board of supervisor and wants someone who is qualified with the skill to reduce and accept less pay at an entry level position. What are we thinking and feeling about that?
I think on the surface, we're seeing that they're getting a misogynistic 2-for-1, because not only are they challenging Camille, but they're challenging the sole woman supervisor on the board. So they're challenging not just one woman, but two women, one in a position of, should be in a position of power, attempting to grant agency to another woman. And from what I am hearing, it sounds like Kathy followed established processes and procedures, but we've got 3 of the 4 men taking an extraordinary step to intervene and place their perspective and gang up and put their power in place of established processes and procedures to impede another woman's economic progress. I don't get that part. And
So what else? What are we thinking? What are you hearing and feeling when you hear this statement?
Chief of staff is not an entry-level position, and the term gatekeeper comes to mind.
right there.
What do you mean? Say more. Gatekeeper.
Well, as men and as board supervisors, they hold the power. They've had benefits that she hasn't had, and so they're standing in front of access to those benefits and that power and saying, you can't come in here as you are. You can come in a demeaned fashion at a lower caste level, but we're going to determine the terms of your entrance into this hallowed ground.
What I hear and what I think of is something that was spoken before is, I'm just. Where are we getting the I'm just from?
Yeah.
I know when I was just a stay-at-home mom, it wasn't me saying that. It was what was said to me. It was what society says. And so I see that at play here in a smaller sense of this man, these folks are able to say or put value on what this young woman's role is going to be and how much she deserves. It's somebody else validating her worth and her not being able to, even get the same amount of pay as everyone else. I think it's the same thing. It's about us not even being able to stand up for what we know we deserve. It's being put on us. And so I think this is our moment to say and to speak up for ourselves and say we deserve to have the same. And we've got to be able to stand up and encourage and support and validate our worth and stand up to those that would say what we deserve and how much pay we deserve. The audacity. It's the audacity.
So is this about our worth, Latoya, Manaya? Just want to make room for your voices. Mm-hmm.
I was gonna wait to see if Manaya wants to say anything.
Let me lead with this. Why is it so difficult to hold this space? What's triggered in this? Where is there? Why is it so challenging for women to hold this space?
I'm really having a hard time with speaking on this because to me, it's so intertwined into so many other facets of life for women. Because I'm thinking about even when it comes to relationships, when we use our voice to say, this is what's happening. And it's like, that's not happening, or you're not hearing it correctly, or you're just being a woman. You're just, and it's like, how this world would crumble without us, Is it now time for a society where it's women and men, but that's not the way. I'm just thinking like, what what is it? And so this is triggering. I don't know.
Manaya?
Yes.
Your thoughts, comments, anything?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of having a hard time finding where to speak on it. Because for one, I've never been in a situation to where it's the workplace, so that's very much past my head.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of how that is so entwined with other facets of life, I think as women, so often we're gaslit. It's chalked up to, well, it's like, oh, well, it's hormones, or it's your period, or it's just because. Am I making sense? I want to say more, but I'm just not sure where to go with it.
And this is so the reason why I'm holding this in an anti-Black conversation space, because it is conversation. This isn't a right or wrong. And I want to also make it very clear. I understand that there is a lot of trauma and triggers that is intertwined in what's taking place now, that it is hard for a woman to stand up for our rights. It is difficult for us to advocate for ourselves because it seems like there's so much that's at risk. There's so much that is vulnerable that is there. So yes, Tama, come in.
I wanted to chime in with my thoughts on the misapplication, the intentional misapplication of the word just, because it's a prefix that gets applied to women, our worth, our work, our thoughts, our being, our feelings, our perspective. And it's used almost as a pejorative, as like just means only, or just means merely, or just equals less than. And in actuality, the word just, when it is applied to women, should be just in the sense of righteous, just in the sense of proper, just in the sense of necessary. So everything that a woman just does is just right. So that was the only thing that I wanted to add to the conversation.
I want to highlight one of the because I had stopped in as I was reading, and I want to highlight something. I'm going to drop it in the chat intentionally, where it says it's ridiculous that I have to explain this and do this labor. Ooh. Oh, I had to stop. It is demoralizing and frustrating. But this is the reality of what women have to navigate every day to be taken seriously.
I want to say something to that because now I'm thinking her courage is it is necessary. I have spent the last couple of weeks not speaking up for the fact that I'm underpaid, right? Because of the power I feel like the men above me hold over me. They could say, you know what, we'll find someone else, because at my last job, the reality is they let me go because of my pay. They could find two people to do what I was doing, for what they were paying me. And it was still not great. And the reality is, if no one is speaking up, it's never going to be addressed. It's never going to be taken care of. So I didn't even catch her name. You said it over there. Is it Camila?
Camille,
I applaud you, because this took so much courage. She runs the risk of not getting the position whatsoever. That's a high possibility at this point. The lady who spoke up for her, I believe it was Kathy Miller, runs the risk of a lot of things as well. There is repercussions. There are consequences that come to speaking up. And I am so grateful for the women who have been courageous enough to do that. And how dare I have the audacity not to speak up for myself so that the next woman who comes in under me is treated like I'm treated. No. And it needs to be documented and it needs to be in writing. And this is how it should be. And if you decide to let me go because I use my voice, then I'm going to do exactly what Camille did. How dare I not stand up? Thank you. Thank you for this statement.
That part. So what do we need to do to support Camille? Because Camille is taking this step, but this isn't just about her. If she was just doing this for her, she could do this quietly. So there are some things that she's asking for. There are some things that we can do in order to raise awareness. But I'm even lifting it up, to people that are out there, that people that are watching. What are some things, that can do? When are we going to get tired of this and say enough is enough? That we as women, not only are we worth the wages, we're worth equality, equitable, that we cannot continue to be treated as undervalued, underappreciated property, because in all essence, that's what it is. It's not enough. And just to give me a few extra pennies, just to give me a pat on the head, I'm not a pet, I'm not a dog, so I mean, just we've got to deal with the supremacy, the misogynistic behavior, the narcissism that is interwoven in all of it. We've got to stand up and do this. And so I know that people got tired of Me Too and all of that. Well, at this point now, it's like, okay, well, what you gonna do? So poop, get off the pot, but something has to happen in order for this to change. So this isn't just about Camille. This is about all the women. So we're going to support Camille, but what else do we need to do?
I think one of the things that we need to do is we don't back off the microphone. I think that we keep singing the same refrain. I think we keep the volume turned up, because that is one of the cards that gets used against women and people of color. We keep hearing it. We keep hearing it. And I think our natural and constant counter has to be, you keep hearing it because it keeps happening. We'll back off when we actually see consistent change. This intermittent stuff, that doesn't work. Because the minute we turn down the mic, here comes the same systemic oppression. And it seems that the only thing that keeps it at bay is something like this. 6 women resonating to 6 other women, resonating to 6 other women, and that we multiply until we are not singing solo, we are one big ass choir.
Ooh.
And we don't back off the mic.
I agree with that 100%. It has to be organized. That's what the organizing is. I thought about that even with the statement I just said, that when I make the statement for myself, there's many people who have vouched for my work, So now it's time. I need all those names, But to me, that, just to say, oh, so I'm saying that I'm worth more, but also this person is too, this person is too, this person is too, organizing for myself. But that's what I hear also with what Miss Thomas is saying as well. We are 6, gathering more, all this stuff. We have to do it like that. We have to all be. There's no other way. This fight is too big for it to be one Camille,
right,
fighting, And it's
all named Camille.
Absolutely.
In this situation, we are all named Camille. We are all named Toya. We are
I
all
love that.
we are all
Mm.
named Toya.
Renee just said, what's up, Renee?
Hi, Renee.
Beat the drum consistently.
I love
You know.
that. And that, yes. Yes, yes. I love
Absolutely.
that.
I think we
Um,
also, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we also need to be able to lovingly address some of the trauma that we've internalized as women, that we give out, because some of what I've heard and is not from men, it's from women. And so we have to be able to be honest and be able to say, no, that's wrong. And I want better for not only for myself, but for you. And again, it has to be done in love, because I think to a certain degree, you know, they've not recognized the oppression that they've internalized and then that they're giving out to others. So absolutely, we're dealing with this in isolation. And so we have to be able to say and call each other out and say, no, I'm not going to take that, and neither should you.
Mm. So it was some, go ahead, Elizabeth.
Erica, I was just going to resonate with that and say that not only does it sometimes come from other women, but usually the first woman is myself. And I think that if we can be honest with some people that we're close with about the things that we tell ourselves, that somewhere we know our lies, but to just get that support, I think that's powerful and sustains the work. So,
Yeah. So I wanted to just before we land on what our action is going to be, I wanted to touch on this a little bit, and it was more so, Erica, I'm really wanting to pull on you here, because I know that this is an area that you have a lot of passion in. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. Love you so much. Enjoy your day with the babies. So trauma. I was doing some research and leaning in regard to women of color and how we are invisible. And we isolate and we house. And so I'm wondering, with things like this, with issues like this, how does it impact us, as far as our mental wellness and health? Does it, what is some of the trauma that happens with us?
It's an onslaught. It causes us to be self-censoring. It causes us to get in our own way, because we are always told, don't. This is the primary instruction. Shh. Don't even say it to yourself.
Yeah.
Definitely don't say it to us. And don't say it to us more than once, because we heard you the first time. And we are so conditioned to, especially as Black women, we are so conditioned to fight against the pejorative, you're the angry Black woman, without acknowledging that we have so much to be angry about, and that we don't take our questions to the source. And in Camille's case, her question, her issue, we know where the source is. It is at the County Board of Supervisors. There are questions to be asked of the injurer. And the price that women pay is that we're always juggling the propriety of something versus the benefit of doing it. Is the price I'm going to pay greater than the reward or the change I'm going to make? But the systems that oppose and oppress us, they don't ask those questions. The men that go into rooms and make deals and have conversations about us, they don't ask those questions. We're the ones that ask, what's going to be the price of resistance? And I think one of the ways to turn it around is to ask the corresponding question, what's going to be the price of passivity?
Wow. Manaya said something that was really profound. She said that we have to fight against the angry Black woman while simultaneously being trapped. by the strong Black woman. You want to say some more about that?
This is an anti-Black conversation as well, yes?
Yeah.
So everyone's well aware of the fact that over the course of US history, there has been the trope, I would say in modern US history, there's been the trope of the strong Black woman. You usually see this in Tyler Perry films, and I say that with a sour taste in my mouth, that it's always the woman that's got like 3 jobs and is, I don't need no man, I'm a CEO, and yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. She's strong, she's independent, she doesn't need anything. And so much that is perpetuated in movies, in TV shows, and music, what have you, that it creates this idea that we don't need anything, that we can take it, that you can do it. You can, it's like, you got this. You're a strong Black woman. Yes, queen. Like it, and that is such a double-edged sword because it's both encouragement and at the same time, it's push yourself harder. Jump through this other hoop. Yeah, your leg's broken. Yeah, you're bleeding, but jump through this other hoop. Dang it, I lost my point. I was on a roll. Darn it.
So it was good too. It was good.
It was good. I lost it.
So
hold on, let me find it. No, I refuse to let this go. I refuse. Okay, but in speaking to that, in fighting and being trapped by the strong Black woman, it conditions us to deal with things in isolation. It prepares us for isolation.
yes.
It's like, all right, you're the strong Black woman. You have to deal with this alone. You have to put on a brave face. You have to carry it. You have to. And it shuts us off from ourselves. It disconnects us from ourselves. Like, I can speak to having to live in that kind of isolation, to having to get used to silence, to having to find solace in silence.
Man.
Despite how bad you may be hurting.
And that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. I would venture to say that when you do speak up and speak out, you live in isolation as well, because others are not willing to accept that. Because no, what? How dare you say you're human? How dare you say you're hurting and this is hard? We're strong. And we wear that badge with such certainty that how dare anyone take that badge away or dismantle that, award that we've had, or that badge we've been carrying for generations and generations.
Exactly.
And I would venture to say my great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother, they wanted me to be proud of their courage and the things that they had to suffer through, but to lay that down and to walk in the humanity that I'm able to now. We have the privilege. We're walking in a different generation, a different time. So the onus is on us to do something that they weren't able to do. And we can let the strength be in taking the next step. Let that be the strength. I'll carry that, not the burden. I'm going to lay the burden down. And my prayer and my hope is that we no longer are saying that we're no longer holding our humanity or suppressing our humanity in order to perpetuate that strong Black woman image. Let the strength be in our vulnerability.
Hey, Tony.
Yes, Ms. Thelma.
On the tail end of what Erica said about how dare you,
right?
That underlines the kind of courage it took for Camille to come forth with this statement, because she knows she is about to run the gauntlet of how dare you. It's going to be overt, it's going to be covert, and it's going to be an undercurrent going forth because she did dare.
Wow.
We have to rise to that same level of daring by taking this conversation beyond today, taking it to the source, and making sure that we ask that question back. Not how dare I, how dare you? How dare you, when on all of your San Joaquin County web pages, you place yourself as this advocate for education and youth and transformative change and a trajectory of progress. How dare you, in your actions, do the exact opposite? How dare you is a question and an accusation that goes both ways. And we don't do that often enough. But in Camille's case, we better.
Toya, you were going to say something, and then I'm going to really just kind of dig straight into the individuals that we need to. Well, I hate to use the word target, but we go in there. So, Toya.
Yeah. The how dare you sounds like the hashtag, like hashtag for the movement. How dare you? I wanted to go back to something you were asking of Miss Erica or Mrs. Erica with the trauma, all of that, because in just 1 month, I have seen myself swing, be triggered, all kind of stuff. And of course, I have my own personal stuff going on. So now I'm trying to balance the stuff I'm being triggered with at work and then my own personal life. And even yesterday, I had to make myself get out of bed. I was working from home. So, of course, I answered the phone. I knew when my boss called, hi, how are you? All that stuff. But I had to make myself get out of bed. I had so much anxiety driving to my office this week, and I really, for the most part, could say I love my job. But I had so much anxiety, so much stress. And then I know that in a week, it's pay period time, and I'm already stressing about how little my check is going to be and the amount of work. Next week, I have a report due, for our grant. It's a lot to do a grant report. And I'm thinking, how do I speak up, and who's on my side? There's not anyone, necessarily on my side. The other thing I wanted to mention, because I do want us to at some point, and that might be another conversation, to address what the side effects of being triggered or the trauma looks like, with the sleeping or the fatigue or all that stuff. Like, what does that look like? The other part is the lack of covering, trying to be wise with how I say it. So I may have to not say it, but women are just as guilty. So this, like something Erica said earlier, this is not a man's game only, the women are just as guilty. I have to put some blame on the women that do my position too in other cities, because when I met with them, they were like, they owe me money. They should be paying me more. And I'm thinking, you've been here 13 years. What do you mean they owe you money? So now the reason why I'm having to fight even harder is because if I surpass your pay with what I'm asking, then we have a different issue. They're like, they've been here all this time. They never complained. And the women are saying, I'm the mama of the office. I'm not your mama. All of these things. So, and to me, they're just as much to blame,
It's
not
a
necessarily blame.
It's cultural. It's a culture that we've created.
Yeah. And so I'm like, addressing it just has to be across the board. But I don't know. I need to stop saying I don't know, but yeah.
There's a culture that is created. One of the things that I shared with you all when we were prepping is that, and I see my executive director is a Black woman. And she is a Black woman that comes from corporate America. So she has a framing and a shaping, an internal lens, on how some of these nuances work. I'm lifting that up because I am fortunate enough. Now, I've worked in many different sectors. I'm fortunate enough in this time in my life to be under the leadership of a Black woman that comes from corporate America, that advocates strongly for equity and equality in our workplace. So there's that framing that is under, and I'm saying that intentionally because I know what it is like to work underneath a white manager. both male and female. I know what it is like to work under the leadership of a misogynistic Black man. I've been in all of these different, spaces. And so there's so many different nuances and things that, that I could pull from or what have you. I know what it is like to not have my voice in a workplace. I know what it is like to not be able to advocate for myself. I know what it is like to work with women that are my immediate supervisors that do not have my back and support me when things are wrong. I know what it is like to be falsely accused by a white counterpart, a white employee, and then be required to adjust and make them comfortable in my space. All of these different things, yeah. These are, and they are traumatizing. And if you have any past trauma, which we do most times as women of color, then these things in the workplace trigger like landmines, those things that we are have dealt with in our past, and it can create all kind of upheaval. And so, yes, we do need to hold space for that. Have those type of conversations. What do we need to do? Who do we need to become in order to make and bring about change? So Camille has actually threw a pebble in the water and caused a ripple, but it's not just a little tiny ripple. Camille, you created a tsunami wave, is what you just did. With how dare you? For real, like how dare you? Like I'm done. This is ridiculous. I cannot believe Tom Patty, for real, I'm calling you out. I can't believe, Tom Patty, that you did this. I can't believe, Miguel Villaputa, that you did this. Who's the other one? Rick who? What's it? I want to make sure we have his name. So y'all find his name in that statement. How dare you? Because guess what? You cannot, as men, openly, are you serious, challenge another woman board of supervisor on a decision that she is determined to make in regard to hiring someone who is well equipped and suited for the job, and you want to question the rate of pay that this young lady should have? How dare you? Can't believe that you actually did that. For real? You might want to rethink that. So we are going to encourage folks to actually take some action. I dropped in the chat, I'll drop it again, to stand in solidarity with Camille. Camille, 25 years old, had the courage to take this stand. And so we want you to send emails to the Board of Supervisors. I put the information in the chat. We'll pull it in there again for you. I'm going to be sharing this over and over again, sharing the information. We want you to look at her story, read her story. Latoya, if you can, drop the link to Camille's story again in the chat so that people can get it, read it, and support her. Know that help her to know she is not alone in this. Women, help Camille know she's not alone in this. Be courageous and bold and step up. We cannot let this thing happen, not under our watch. So Tom, Patty, Rick, yep, there it is. I'm gonna put their names right here in the chat. Is there any last thing that you all want to share before we tap out?
I'll go. We have a hashtag. Let's share that. How dare you? We have a directive and we have a direction, which is to, if you can't do anything else, if you're a woman, if you're an ally of women, and if you want to do something that is substantial, read the statement, send an email in support and with a question to the people that are involved in this. There are direct actions that we can take, so let's take them.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take that hashtag and I'm going to tweet it. How about that? Call them out. How dare you? And then share the link to her story. Anyone else?
I was going to say that, and I love this. I love the how dare you. I think another thing to add on top of that would be after we share Camille's story, then to also continue that narrative, because we've all been there and we all have our how dare you moment or story to share. And so to attach those on, because this is not just Camille's story. This is, like we've said, it's all of our story in some capacity at some point. So to
I was
continue
going to say
that
something similar.
Same.
We all need to be sharing a story. Anyone who's had this experience. I am Camille.
Ooh.
You know, I am her.
That's a hashtag.
Oh my God. Y'all killing me. I am Camille. Yeah, I love that. I absolutely do. That is a hashtag. I am Camille. So we're going to be sharing some stuff. We're going to be putting some stuff out there, pushing that. We're gonna do some tweeting today. We're gonna do some Instagram stuff out there. And we're gonna stand in solidarity because this young lady had the courage to do what we have shrunk back and not dared to. So I am Camille. Yeah. All right, y'all. We got some work to do. They're gonna be making a public statement on the 9th. That's this Tuesday, the County Board of Supervisor. So we're encouraging people to call. We're encouraging people to email. We're encouraging people to call out Tom Patty, Robert Rickman, and Miguel Villapuerta on Twitter. And the hashtag is how dare you. And if you have a story, then you also want to say, I am Camille. So those are the hashtags. How dare you? I am Camille. We stand in solidarity with you today. Kama?
I would say let's set a goal of 209 hashtag likes, retweets, because the 209 stands for Stockton.
Have you seen my computer?
I'm sorry, say it again. Kama?
I said I would like to see a number attached to this. If we can get 209 different retweets, different Instagram likes, just to start there, because 209 stands for us.
We can. Yeah, absolutely. And you guys can drop this stuff inside the Facebook chat. I'm trying to get a link for Pastor Trina. She is asking a question, and I'm trying to make sure she gets it in the chat. Latoya, can you, from your Facebook page, drop the link to Camille's story again in the chat for those that are just coming in? I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So we just dropped the link into Camille's statement in the chat again for those of you that are just coming in. And so we're wrapping up. And we will give some more instructions and things for you all to do as we push this. And so, Tama, the hashtag again, you said I am, so it's I am Camille and how dare you 209?
No,
Just how dare you?
I just want to get 209 people to start with.
And I'm going to record not even I mean like a 2-minute story. And see if I can get any other people to I am Camille, you know, share a glimpse of your story, or just say I am Camille or how dare you or something like that. Like, we have this is necessary.
Okay, so I'm going to just put this up there on the screen for everyone to see, and then so that they can actually share it, and then you all. So these are the hashtags that we will be sharing today, over the weekend. So everything, and Toya, you're encouraging
Through the
folks
week. Through the week.
through the week. Okay.
Yep. Because we might not get the videos and stuff up until Monday, which is okay. This is not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So just because we don't see the movement happening today or Sunday, Monday is still a day. You know, let's not put a day limit on it. Like this is too important.
So you want to share a video of your "How Dare You" story?
Or just gather a lot of people. The "How Dare You, I Am Camille," you know. We can put those videos together and make one big video, you know. There's lots of us.
Awesome. 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 She said send it to her directly. And so, yeah, some reason Pastor Trina wasn't seeing it. And so I'll figure out what the glitch is in that. So everybody, I wanted to, oh, she got it. So everybody, I wanted to thank you. Thank you guys for joining in. We are at our hour mark. So we are sending emails to our Board of Supervisors, and we will work in order to organize so that it's just a quick link for you to do that. And we are going to be capturing stories, even if it's just 2-3 minute little stories that we can put out. And you're going to use the hashtag "How Dare You" and the hashtag "I Am Camille." And we will also call out Supervisor Tom Patty, Supervisor Miguel Villapura, and Supervisor Robert Rickman on Twitter to over this weekend with hashtag "How Dare You" and hashtag "I Am Camille." So those are some of the actions that we are doing to stand in solidarity with our sister. And so I appreciate you ladies for joining in. I appreciate those of you that have shared and tapped in with us. If you have any specific questions in regard to the actions that we're taking, please send me messenger me. Tony McNeil, I'm on Facebook. Just send me a message, or you can send me an email at tony@faithinthevalley.org. Love you guys. And ladies, we are going to stand in solidarity. Peace.